Okay, back in the kitchen with Titus Cooks. Today, making a couple things that are special to my heart. So we're starting to doing some Cajun cooking, and so what we're going to do, we're going to make three things that are very. I was going to wipe my nose. Bad move, chef. They're things that very commonly used in cooking, in Cajun style cooking. So, oh, that was amazing. That feels good. Thank you, Eric. Got a trash can for me, buddy? There you go. I love that. I love a PA. Nothing better than a PA to get things done. It brings me to a funny story. Years ago, with a friend of mine, my friend Barbara Jean, at a bar in LA, and this guy came up and he was hitting on her, and I asked him, say, hey, what do you do for a living? He says, I'm a PA. I said, oh, then you won't mind getting me a drink. Production assistant. That means he was running around getting things for people. Anyway, boom, boom. So the three things we're going to make today, very important in Cajun cooking, Creole style cooking. We're going to make a roux, which is a darkened roux. We're going to use it becomes like a buttery, kind of walnutty flavored roux that gives such depth of flavor to all of the sauces, like gumbo, if you put it in jambalaya, anything like that. It brings out a different flavor than like a regular roux that we've always used. We'll use oil, we'll use flour, that's it. So we'll start with that one. We're going to start with equal parts. So there we go, our oil. We're going to put it in there, let it start warming. The pan's already warmed up a bit. I'm going to turn it up a tiny bit, and then I'm going to get my flour. So if we use 1 cup of oil, what do we want? 1 cup of flour. Correct? Correct, chef, they all say. They all yell in unison. All right, so there we go. I've got my flour. I'm going a little extra flour. Why not? There are no rules in my book. Let's see. We'll start with our whisk. There we go. Let's get start the day off right. Okay, so we got warm oil. I'm just going to slowly add that flour to it. Do it slowly just so you mix in, get all the clumps out of it. And then we're going to just let it cook slowly. We'll turn around every now and then and stir it. We'll make sure what we're going to do. The other day we did this just for fun, and I had somebody stirring it, and they did a great job, and I turned my head away, and next thing you know, it had burnt. So quick it will turn on you. So you just got to keep an eye. If you have an extra person in the kitchen that can stand there and stir it, usually that doesn't happen though. We don't have a lot of extra people in the kitchen. So what you do, kitchen's small, you work your area, you're able to turn back and forth this way, that way, and then you turn back here, and this is your work area, okay? So look at all this. It's range of motion. It's motion science, we call it. It's getting the most done with the fewest steps. Yesterday I got home, I had 25,000 steps on my Apple Watch that tracks everything I do. 25,000 steps. That's me moving around like this. There's 2, and a 3, and a 4. I get back to cooking now. We're trying to get these under 15 minutes. So I've got my brown roux started, and you can see it's already bubbling. Got a nice, what we call bubblage going. And here we go. I'm going to keep an eye on turning around. Next thing we're going to make the Holy Trinity of Cajun cooking, and that's exactly what it's called. It's called Trinity. It's more often referred to as Holy Trinity. So what Trinity is, it's 3 things, always the same 3 things. In French cooking, we have mirepoix, which is it's a mixture of vegetables that we put into a lot of sauces. It's usually carrots, celery, onion. I think that's what the mirepoix is. It's fine diced on the Trinity. What we're doing, 3 things, all the same things all the time. We use celery, we use green pepper, and the last thing is onion. And when you make a Trinity, it's the same amounts of everything. So if you do 1 cup of onion, what are you going to do? 1 cup of celery and 1 cup of green bell pepper. Okay? So simple as that. 1 to 1 to 1. It's easy to remember. 111, 111. Trying to think of some other ways to tell you that, but nope. Same measurements of each one. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get it cut up and show you what it's like, and then we're not going to do anything with it today, but later this week or next week we're going to be using Trinity to cook in a lot of our things. Okay, look. So I bring my roux over. Nice. I turn around. I looked at it. You can already see it starting to brown. We're starting to get a nice looking brown color to it. It's exactly what we want, but we're not exactly to the brown we want yet. So if you think I haven't turned around often, somebody yell at me and say, "Chef, turn around, stir your roux," and I will do that. Since it's a live feed going all over the world. Okay, next thing, I'm going to get a bigger knife to make it more obvious. Okay, I'm going to dice these up. So let's do our onion first. So watch how I do this. This is so important to me when cutting things. You got a knife, get the right size knife. The tip of the knife goes on the board, and you're going just like a machine like that. You don't want to be chopping like this. You don't want to be going like this. You just use that as a machine. All right, so I start, and we're going to do a dice on this. See how the tip of the knife not coming off the board until I pick it up. And then I turn those onions, and we're going to do the exact same thing the other way. Okay? That's so simple. You're having an incredible motion with your knife. It's so exact. It's so perfect. You just need to learn how to do it. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to think of different ways to say it, but to have great knife skills in the kitchen is exactly what a chef wants from you. I know you can be late by like 2 minutes to work. Yeah, once in a while. But if you don't know how to do a knife, then you're kind of worthless in the kitchen as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I could probably find something for you to do, but really, learn how to use that knife. Your knife is your friend. My friend, the knife. My dad is a professor, and he'd have all these students. They'd write these master theses with these long, long names. And I told my dad my master's thesis was going to be called "Our Friend the Frog." I guess you had to be there. My dad every time I ever said anything, he'd basically put his head in his hands and kind of shake it and, "Hey, but I made it this far, Dad." He's proud of me. All right, so look at that. See, it's starting to get a nice tan color now. We're still looking for more brown, but if you're in here, I'm going to turn on the smell-o-vision. Bing, you guys can smell it. It's starting to smell really nutty. Oh, it's good. Do not put your finger in that. That's hot oil, and it's really, really hot. So you put your finger in there, guess what? You burn yourself, okay? Next part of the Trinity, you notice how I cut the celery from being a long stick of celery down to shorter sticks of celery. I do that just for ease of cutting. So now I can go through with my knife and just do these shortcuts. If I was doing, get it, shortcuts? I get it finally. See, if I was doing this, I'd be doing this long cut like this. That's kind of dangerous. It's you don't get a really exact cut on it. So when you cut things down to a size that works for you, then you're golden. You're golden. I can hire you. You can come work for me. Well, we'll see. There may be some other stipulations. All right? And now we got a nice pile. It's like a pile of logs. And we're just going to go through this way. And what do we have? We have diced celery. So we're 2/3 of the way to getting our Trinity ready. And our Trinity will be used in a lot of things. We're going to make gumbo next week. So we're going to put some Trinity in that. We'll probably do an étouffée, which we use Trinity. You'll hear that a lot. And so if you don't know what it is, then you should learn. Come on, pay attention. I think I put it as a question on the daily quiz. Okay, and last thing with the pepper. The pepper, if you want, you can do a little more care to it and cut out some of the pith, or just leave it like that. We're going to cut it lengthwise like this. Once again like this. And then let's turn that pepper this way. And we'll go this way. So see, now we have our Trinity almost finished. And you notice how everything's basically the same size. Everything's looking good. Things are starting to look up here in the apple capital of the world. Go this way. Well, hello, diced pepper. Welcome to the world. You woke up this morning a whole pepper, and now you're a diced pepper. I hope that's what you were trying to be your whole life. So I asked somebody the other day, what national flag has a dark green, a light green, and a white? Somebody told me one, and I forget which country, but it does work. There is a country. I thought it'd be Ireland. Could be wrong. Could be wrong, and I could be right. I could be black, and I could be white. Huh? Pill, Public Image Limited. There you go. Who got that? All right, look at that. That is so close. We might have added a little more flour to it, but because it's pretty runny, but I like the look of this. It's a really great smell. Now it's getting so close. So I'm going to turn the fire down a bit. And you know what? This could probably just sit there and just, because the oil is so hot, it could just keep cooking for a while. But it's almost exactly what I want. Okay, so 2 things done. We got our roux. We've got our Trinity. Last thing. Here we go. We're going to make Romulade sauce. Romulade sauce. And here we go. It's a simple one. You can make, if you want to make mayonnaise for this, you could actually make the mayonnaise in the Cuisinart and then add the other products to it. Mayonnaise, very simply, egg yolks and oil. But I went the easy man's route, and we're making it with the mayonnaise that was made in New Jersey, because everything's made in New Jersey. If you it comes from New Jersey. If you don't know where it's from, it's probably made in New Jersey, they say. All right, let's see. See how I keep turning it? And I'm going to turn that fire off because I think the color of my roux is beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so we got our mayonnaise. I'm going to add some whole grain mustard. Let's do about a tablespoon whole grain. In fact, there's hardly any left, and I should have just put it all, but I didn't. Now the lid's on it. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice. Got some parsley. I'm going to chop up some parsley. Now remember, we're going to put it into the Robot-Coupe. Everybody remembers what Robot-Coupe means, right? It's a French word for robot cutter. See that? I did the robot. Robot cutter. Okay, so we have our parsley, we got our lemon juice, we've got our whole grain mustard. We're going to add some. Now this is the part I think is the most important in your Romulade, horseradish. Oh, how much I love horseradish. And what I love more than eating horseradish is watching people eat horseradish when they don't know it's horseradish, and just the look of terror that comes over their face when they realize they've eaten horseradish, and it just gets up in your sinuses, and it's not something I like to have happen to me. It's like brain freeze backwards. Instead of going down your throat, it's going up your nose into your sinuses. So don't do it unless unless you're into that kind of stuff, I guess. I guess if your name is Steve O and you're on that movie where they do silly things, you could do it. All right, I'm just taking up time. Hear that noise in the background? That's work. That's work being done. You say it's annoying, I say it's learning. All right, I put in some garlic. I put 2 cloves of garlic in there. Next thing, capers. Anybody know what capers are? Pickled buds of a flower. And if you ask me what flower, I would say I don't know. I should look it up. Eric, you got your phone there? Look it up. I got mine. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, these people these days. That's all right, Eric. I respect you. Anyways, okay, I got my capers. We're going to go with a little Worcestershire sauce. I always smell the Worcestershire sauce. Got just a nice little kick to it. A little bit, about a teaspoon. Believe me, that was a little more than a teaspoon. Paprika, which, one of these students grabbed it, walked away. Well, we'll have to miss it today. No paprika because somebody thought they were more important than us. Okay, you can put some green in it. You can put some cayenne pepper. We're almost there, though. I think, let me see. I'm going to turn this on, and that's basically it. You're gonna let it blend up. The reason I hold the lid is something's broken there, but it makes it kind of cool, right? You know, we'll put, instead of paprika, I'll put a shot of some hot sauce in there, Louisiana hot sauce. Give it a little red color. And this Romulade sauce is used as a dip for so many things. Crab cakes, you can do shrimp into it. It's great. You could put it on a sandwich. You put it on a po' boy sandwich. It's so good. You see, you taste the horseradish in there. I love that. I love that flavor. So what we do now is I'm going to put it in a container. I'm going to put a little plastic container. You don't get a huge one. You get the size that's going to fit. You put it in there. You're going to mark the top of it. Look at that. How is that? How is that hand-eye coordination that I knew this is all going to fit into a two-cup deli cup? Nice work, chef. On goes the lid. On goes a little piece of tape, and then on that, you write on it, you say Romulade sauce, and you put the date on it. Because this will keep in your refrigerator 2-3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. Keep it in there. You can use it on so many different things. It's just such a great flavor. It reminds me of New Orleans. Trinity, Holy Trinity reminds me of New Orleans. A roux, a nice dark roux like this reminds me of making gumbo. And it's just so nice. And so with this roux, and I honestly probably should have added a little more flour to it, but I'm not going to let that dampen my spirit. What I'm going to do, since that oil is really hot, I'm going to put it in here. I'm putting it right into a metal container. Why metal? Because, chef, it's hot, and we don't want to melt a plastic container and start all over. And then we can have that. We're ready. And then when we make our gumbo or anything, it's ready to go. Ready, set, go is what we say in the business. So take a look here. Our darkened, our browned roux, our Romulade sauce, our Holy Trinity. Boom, bam. Way to go, chef. I can't believe you. You probably could have done that in 3 minutes if you weren't telling so many darn stories, right? So my hat's off to all of you cooks of the world. Get in the kitchen. Sharpen your knives. Make sure your knives are sharp. It's so important to work with a sharp knife. You work with a dull knife, you ain't no friend on mine. And then send in letters, send me texts, send me emails, send me emojis. I'm still trying to figure out what emojis mean. And then the last thing I want you to do is to cook. Cooking is so much fun. It's what I do. It's how I made a living. It's how I got this far in life. And I'm just going to keep doing it until